In the year 331 BC, the world was on the edge of transformation. Two titans prepared to clash, and the fate of empires hung in the balance. To the west was Alexander of Macedon, just 25 years old, undefeated in every battle he had fought, and already a legend among his men. To the east was Darius III, King of Kings, ruler of the vast Persian Empire, stretching from the Aegean Sea to the mountains of India. The Macedonian campaign had begun years earlier, when Alexander crossed into Asia with his father's dream, to conquer Persia and unite Greece under one banner. In less than 3 years, he had already crushed the Persians at the battles of Granicus and Issus, liberating much of Asia Minor and capturing Egypt. Yet Persia was far from finished. Darius gathered his strength, determined to destroy the young Macedonian once and for all. The two armies would meet near a village called Gaugamela in northern Mesopotamia. Darius carefully chose the battlefield. It was wide and flat, the perfect terrain for his immense cavalry forces and his terrifying war chariots armed with scything blades. He even ordered the land leveled to ensure his chariots could sweep across the plain unhindered. When the sun rose on October 1st, 331 BC, the two armies faced each other in silence. The Persian host dwarfed the Macedonian ranks. Ancient accounts suggest Darius commanded over 200,000 soldiers, though modern historians believe the number was closer to 100,000, still more than twice Alexander's force. His army included cavalry from across the empire, Indian war elephants, and the elite Persian immortals. Alexander commanded just over 40,000 men, but unlike the Persians, his army was a single, unified force, disciplined, loyal, and drilled to perfection. At its core was the Macedonian phalanx, rows of infantry armed with sarissas, pikes more than 18 feet long. On his flanks were deadly cavalry, including Alexander's own companion cavalry, an elite unit that would follow him into any storm. The battle began with skirmishes across the front. Darius unleashed his chariots, their blades spinning as they thundered toward the Macedonian lines. But Alexander had anticipated this. His troops opened their ranks, allowing the chariots to pass harmlessly through before cutting down the horses and drivers in a storm of spears. Next came the Persian cavalry. On both wings, waves of horsemen crashed against the Macedonian flanks. The earth shook with the sound of hooves. Dust filled the air. Yet Alexander did not commit his full army. Instead, he extended his right wing at an angle, slowly pulling the Persians further and further out of position. At the perfect moment, Alexander struck. Leading his companion cavalry, he drove directly into the gap forming in the Persian center. With precision and ferocity, he aimed for one target, Darius himself. The charge was devastating. Persian lines buckled, and chaos spread through the ranks. In the center of the storm, Alexander's cavalry pushed forward, their lances striking true, their formation unbroken. Darius, seeing the charge and fearing capture, fled the battlefield in his chariot. Once their king abandoned them, the Persian army began to crumble. Alexander's phalanx advanced, pressing the advantage. Yet on his left, the Persians nearly broke through. The battle was not without danger. Parmenion, Alexander's trusted general, sent desperate pleas for help. But Alexander made a fateful choice. Instead of turning back to save his left, he continued his pursuit of Darius, determined to end the war in a single stroke. As night fell, the battlefield was littered with bodies. Tens of thousands of Persians lay dead. Darius's once great army was shattered, scattered across the plain. Alexander's losses were light by comparison. Though hard fought, the Battle of Gaugamela was more than just a victory. It was a turning point in history. Persia, the greatest empire of the ancient world, had fallen. Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis, cities that had stood for centuries, opened their gates to Alexander. Within a year, the Persian Empire was his. But the legacy of Gaugamela goes beyond conquest. It marked the rise of Hellenistic civilization. Greek language, art, and science spread across Asia, mingling with Persian traditions and shaping cultures for centuries to come. Alexander had not just defeated an empire, he had created a new world. And it all began with a single charge across the dusty plains of Gaugamela.